Hey, Campbell Henderson here. Welcome to my industry comparison vlog. I'll be basically comparing my production and compositions to my inspirations in the industry, just how they sort of line up, and I guess just all the commercially available productions that inspired this track. I'm only choosing one because Aris Morandi I've already touched on in presentations, and there isn't that much content to go over that I didn't then bring into Acid Halloween and really hone and make perfect. And Kobe Interlude, which these are the three tracks I did this trimester in terms of composition. Kobe Interlude was really a 1 minute, 1.5 minute interlude that was really inspired off the sample that I used within it, and it really doesn't have much going for it in terms of commercial stuff. I was inspired from an old samurai movie. Anyway, I'll move this along. Acid Halloween, heavily inspired. I'm trying to hit a SoundCloud demographic. Everything with the Acid Halloween track, I'm trying to be spooky, dark. So with the SoundCloud demographic, one of the most famous SoundCloud rappers, Little Pump, is like 17. He's famous for being a SoundCloud rapper. Listen to the bass and the graininess in the main sample, and hopefully when I play you my track, you'll see the similarities.
Ooh, and try like a boss. Yeah, I came in with a sauce. Ooh, yeah, I came in with a sauce. Ooh, bitch, I flare red.
Okay, so that's that. And now Acid
I can
Halloween.
back up in your cranium, so let the dust set to metal. Plateau, I'm out. I can sit here, dwell on these thoughts until my time's run out. So get up and bounce.
Ooh, bitch, I flare red raw. Ooh.
So yeah, I'll show you also in Ableton. By the way, I duplicate these layers later when I bounce them out into Pro Tools. That's why this looks a little bit empty for a Pro Tools Ableton session. All the layers are duplicated and complementary EQ'd later on. Anyway, so back to the bass. You can see the pitch roll go right up like an octave here. You can sort of see it's all triplet format. In terms of composition, same sort of way that the Little Pump bass is, heavily distorted. That I wanted to get some of the graininess from that main sample too. If you hear that, the bass in Little Pump's a bit smoother. That's just because I was trying to get characteristics from two layers into one in my own composition. And the hi-hat's also similar in sound, not arrangement, but sound, definitely. That's what I was sort of aiming for.
Yeah, damn, throwing up racks in the air, damn.
Let's raise the fucking house, man. Time ticking, life slipping, tracking through the doubt, man.
Sort of bit, Lil Pump, yeah. Ooh, damn.
Yeah. And now to get off Little Pump away from the SoundCloud, this actually that was additive composition. What started it all was I was looking for spooky stuff. I'd just done a case study on Antidote by Travis Scott. The producers, Eastbound and Wonder Girl, both describe, and they're both Atlantan, just like Little Pump, so it's all that sort of same world. Had both described that they got this spooky sample by warping a sample down speed, so off-speed sampling. And that's very common in their composition with some heavy bass and stuff like that. But I'll show you what I mean that got me inspired. This is probably most easily illustrated within the Ableton session. So I took that sample, I took it down about 10 BPM. Same sort of thing happened for Sada Antidote. Not the same instrumentation, not the same key, but I was going for the same vibe, that same spooky vibe. And then, you know, the Little Pump stuff started coming up, and that's where all that went. And that's the basis of the instrumental. Now, the characteristic part of the hook, I'll play you it first, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So,
Always good to scheme, even in a horror scene. Acid Halloween, acid Halloween.
Yeah.
Pop pounding, trying not to scream. Acid Halloween, acid Halloween.
Yeah, Tay Wall and Jiggy dragging back up in your cranium.
so at the end of the hook, you heard Acid Halloween was the last words of that, just before Wally came in with his verse. So yeah, that was heavily, well, not heavily inspired. I guess the basis of that idea came from how spooky the deep voices within this Childish Gambino track sounded. Because I was really looking for something to accentuate the hook, make that sound spooky post recording. Yeah, that Now I'm So High just before the guitar lick. That was what got me thinking about it. The way that I actually pulled it off was a technique that I'd done on a sample last trimester. If you hear, I've done the same thing where, yeah, I've duplicated the audio, pitched it down a semitone, and then automated that to come up in the mix to add this spookiness. So that spookiness is really just the same vocal semitone down. But you'll hear, I've done a sample here.
Of pertinent facts far outweigh the dangers which are cited to justify it.
So I guess what Childish Gambino did was made me reuse a technique I'd done in a way I hadn't thought about doing it before, because I'd only done it for sample manipulation. I don't know why, I just hadn't thought about putting that into a lead vocal. And Childish Gambino is just hearing the deepness, and that's what sort of got me thinking about pitch and getting into all that. As for that, in terms of comparing loudness and stuff, I've already done that in my mastering blog. It's clocked in. Acid Halloween's clocked in at negative 13 loss, which is SoundCloud standard, and I'm guessing D-Rose by Little Pump would adhere to the same standard. To the naked human ear,
D-Rose, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist.
there's no difference. Yeah. Oh, maybe it'd be good if I...
So let the dust set to metal running on titanium.
100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist.
Yeah, so that concludes my little reflection on aesthetic outcomes of my own work against the commercial products that I drew inspiration from. It's basically a Frankenstein of Little Pump, Childish Gambino, and Travis Scott. And then, yeah, so hopefully I created a spooky hip-hop track, and that's definitely what I was going for. Thank you.